From WFRV Local 5, your local election headquarters. This is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. Spring primary election is about a month away, and one of the biggest races in our area is for Menasha Mayor. Mayor Don Merkes not seeking another term. And joining us this morning, one of the candidates for that office, Menasha Alderman Austin Hammond. Good to see you this morning, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me on.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the office and politics, give me, if you will, the Austin Hammond story. Where are you from? How did you get your start, schooling, and how you got to this point?
Yeah, so I grew up in Fremont, Wisconsin, and I went to school in Waiwega, Fremont. And then for my higher education, I studied in Green Bay at Northeast Wisconsin Technical College for digital media technology. And then after that, I really just fell in love with government, politics, history, and I went on to the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh to study political science. And now I'm working on my graduate degree in public administration. My wife and I met in student government, and I am adamant that it's the best place to meet your future spouse. So after that, we decided to move to Menasha. I have family roots there. On my mom's side, 3 generations have lived in Menasha. And shortly after moving there, I ran for the Common Council for the 4th District, and I have the honor of serving on there now. And I also am a tribal council member for the Brotherton Indian Nation, which is the only tribe in Wisconsin not federally recognized.
Any idea where your interest came in politics?
That's a great question. Yeah. I think it's rooted in a couple of things. One just being my faith and just really wanting to be a good steward of the land around us and loving nature, but also advocacy and serving others and making sure that everybody has a seat at the table. And I think with the contentious nature of politics and how it has kind of reached a boiling point over the last 8 to 10 years, I just looked at myself one day and it was, if I'm not willing to get involved and be the change I want to see, who's going to do that? So that was what drew me to it. I just really had to look at myself one day, and I wasn't overly impressed with the contentiousness of politics, and I don't think it has to be that way. So that was what drew me to it.
Had to be a little bit of a frightening step to take that, to take that move to be an alderman. What was your thought process there?
Yeah, so my wife and I moved to Menasha, and we're just getting really involved. I first joined the Sustainability Committee, and I joined the Housing Authority. I was working at Habitat for Humanity for the Rock the Block program at the time, and I got to know the mayor, and as I was joining these committees, I saw it as an opportunity to serve in a bigger role. And yeah, it was a big leap to run for office, but I really felt called that if I could do the best to be a good representative for my constituents, that it was a worthy cause.
And then what was the trigger that made you say, I can do the big job? I can replace Don Merkes, I can be the mayor?
Just the amazing people that I've met during my time on the Common Council. I just am really fortunate to have had a role where 2 fronts in my professional capacity, knocking doors for Habitat for Humanity in my previous role, Rock the Block, just getting to see the great people, the constituents I talked to, my colleagues on the council, the amazing small business owners in our city, in our downtown, but also the city staff's incredible. So all of these things just really inspired me to want to dig in deeper, and then obviously the opportunity to run for mayor because Mayor Merkes decided he no longer wanted to. I think the combination of all those things made me really want to jump in. And I genuinely have a love and a passion for serving others and being a public servant. And I think government, like anything else, is a tool, and if you know how to use it, you can accomplish a lot of real good with it.
And you mentioned you met wife Amber in student government.
I did.
Where was this?
At the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh.
At Oshkosh?
Yep.
And what were you doing in student government, and what was she doing in student government?
I was the vice president in student government, and then she was the advocacy senator for first-generation students, which we both are.
Okay, so normally opposites attract, but this time 2 people involved in politics attracted, obviously. Menasha as a place to live. Why did you choose Menasha?
Yeah, I think Menasha has just so much unearthed potential and a couple of things. I think the people there are outstanding and amazing. the abundances of water. I think our downtown, like our city motto is your place in the water. I think that's a resource that we don't highlight enough. Great businesses. Our downtown, I think it's counted out a lot, but there's a lot of really great people there. It's beautiful, and I love how neatly positioned it is in the Fox cities. If you want to run up to Oshkosh or Green Bay, it's all interconnected, and I just think Menasha is just a phenomenal place to be.
First member of your family to go to college.
Yeah, yep.
And are you still taking courses? Are you out of school?
Yeah, I'm working on my graduate degree in public administration right now.
Okay.
So I'm doing that part-time, and I really see it as a strength for running for mayor because I'm learning the dynamics of how nonprofit, business, and government sectors work together. And a lot of the outcomes with a public administration degree, city manager, city administrator, and I think it's going to help equip really well.
A couple of things you're involved in I want to ask you about. You're involved with Habitat for Humanity. What are you doing there? And the Atlas Science Center. What are you doing there?
Yeah, I no longer work at Habitat for Humanity.
Okay,
I
but
switched
you did
roles.
in the past.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. So I worked there for I think it was 2.5 years, and I was the outreach coordinator for our Rock the Block program. So any community at Rock the Block would happen, I would be there many months beforehand. Doing town halls, knocking on doors, walking people through the process to be able to do the work. And then on the other side, I got the fun part of running around during the event and planning it, dropping off water, making sure everybody had what they needed. And then with the Atlas Science Center, where I currently work, I'm the development director, and a lot of that is outreach as well, with different collaborative partnerships and fundraising for general operating costs, but also things like new exhibits. A new exhibit I'm working on is focused on workforce development, and that's just a really crucial and important thing that's needed here in the Fox cities.
We have much more to come with Austin Hammond, candidate for Menasha mayor, right after this, so please stay with us. Welcome back to Newsmaker Sunday. This morning we are joined by Menasha mayoral candidate Austin Hammond. We got to know you personally in the first segment. Let me ask you about your time as alderman. Is it the job you thought it would be? Any surprises? Anything different that you didn't expect?
That's a good question. I think it's what I expected, and I mean that in the most positive way. I really enjoy both aspects of it. I enjoy the collaborativeness of working with the different department heads, different entities out in the community, obviously varying on what the topic is. But I really love the legislative process. I have a passion for it, and I enjoy resolutions and ordinances and policy and things like that. But I also like sitting down with community members and hearing what's on their hearts and minds and seeing what I can do as a representative to serve them well. So I've absolutely enjoyed my time in the Common Council.
What's your approach if people have a problem? Do they call you in your office? Do they call you at home? Do they email you? And what are they asking you about? What are some of the issues that they want you to take care of for them?
Yeah, so I get a variation of calls and emails. It's usually between the two, and I always offer to give them a call back, or I send them my email, or excuse me, my phone number via email. I usually go and meet them wherever they're at and schedule a time to look at it. Things that I've been hearing about recently that are really on folks' minds are recycling. A lot of people would like it on a more frequent basis, on a biweekly basis, and affordable and accessible housing is really important, and folks want more options to choose from. And I've been hearing a lot of suggestions that if elected mayor, seeking out opportunities for development potentially for condos, which then inherently opens housing options for more people. Because if we had condos and older people decide, hey, I have too much, I don't want this much house anymore, but I love Menasha and I want to stay here, they move, and that house inherently opens for a family starting out. So I like to think of housing as a life cycle. Yeah.
In your view, for the city of Menasha, what are the big issues that you would have to deal with as mayor?
Yeah, first and foremost being economically responsible of folks' hard-earned tax dollars, and I don't take that lightly. I think it's really important with every decision that's made, looking at it thoroughly and evaluating who does this impact and how can I serve and represent to the best of my ability, but making sure the city's moving forward in a positive direction of growth. And another thing that's important is community pride. Menasha's 150th birthday is this year. There's a lot of really great things to celebrate and a lot of unique opportunities for celebrating. And then the other two things that I'm really passionate about and are on top of what I see being of importance for Menasha moving forward are environmental sustainability. There isn't a planet B, and there is no plan B, so we ought to take care of what we have to the best of our ability. You and I earlier were talking about the water in Menasha and just the abundance of it, so making sure the quality is good, making sure people have the availability to enjoy it, but also our green spaces and expanding our trails. And last, I would say affordable and accessible housing. Folks need somewhere they can lay their head at the end of the day that's safe and affordable, and that is of top priority to me. And then I guess the last thing that I'll say, this is a fifth, sorry I told you there's four. Our downtown, we have phenomenal business owners. I think if I recall correctly, we had about 7 to 9 new businesses that opened last year. Folks are excited and they want our downtown revitalized. So as mayor, being a good partner, moving our downtown forward, I want folks to go out of their way to visit Menasha and hang out in Menasha.
Okay, as the alderman right now, you are on several committees. What committees are you on, and what do you do on those committees?
Yeah, I'm the chairman of the Sustainability Committee. Okay. I am a vice chair of the Administration Committee, and then I am on the Protocol Committee, which meets once a year to set the rules and precedents for the council for the whole upcoming year. And then I'm on the Housing Authority, which is the steward of our programs like our Strong Neighborhood, which is a matching program for folks to be able to do work on their homes. So it's a lot like the functionality of Rock the Block with Habitat for Humanity. But to the things that I do on all of those, sustainability, set the agenda, lead the meetings, make sure we're just being good stewards of our environment and talking about good things. Vice chair to be a good partner to the chair and helping facilitate meetings if she wouldn't be there and things of that nature. And then I'm a voting member on the other 2 committees.
All right, take a moment to pat yourself on the back. What do you think are some of your major accomplishments as alderman?
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm most proud of as alderman was getting the Sustainability Committee to no longer just be an ad hoc committee, but rather a committee. So every time there's a new council, the council will elect an aldermanic representative to be on the council. Other things I'm proud of, I co-introduced the ordinance for backyard chickens in Menasha. I helped to push forward the Public Works Phase 2 expansion of solar panels for our Public Works facility because of the Winnebago Spirit Funds. And then I think I'm really proud of and excited about the opportunity to be a voice for workers in the city of Menasha. I've voted for a salary study to make sure the folks that work for the city and are working hard are getting paid adequately and their fair share. So those are the things I'm really excited about.
Top of the show, you mentioned you being a council member for the Brothertown Indian Nation.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in that? What do you do there?
Yeah, so I'm a Brotherton Indian, and it was something that I grew up hearing about. My grandpa was really proud of it, and it was something I always wanted to get in touch with. And when I became an adult, I received a call. They were looking for folks to want to run that are enrolled members of the tribe, and I thought, why not? Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. And I ran. That race didn't pan out because I ran against the incumbent who had been in there many years, and I got a call a few months later to fill a vacancy, and I've been on there since, and I got elected to my 2nd term. And it's been an absolute joy. What I do is policy, advocating for the constituents within our tribe, but most importantly, is being the only tribe not federally recognized in the state of Wisconsin, having meeting with congressional members, members of the Senate. Something I'm really proud of that I was able to do while on the Brotherton Indian Nation Council was request a proclamation from Governor Evers in 2020 that he did. And that's something to just give us that elevation and we're here, we're people, we love our state, and we're proud to be Native American.
Sure. Austin Hammond is our guest. He's running for Menasha mayor, and we have more to come with him right after this, so please stay right there. We We are back with Menasha Mayor candidate Austin Hammond on this week's Newsmaker Sunday. Your campaign website says you want to lead for tomorrow, and there are 4 issues, some of which you brought up earlier in the show. I want to ask you about each one. One, economic responsibility. What will you do there?
Yeah, economic responsibility. Economic responsibility. Sorry, apparently can't talk. To me, that's just being a good steward of people's hard-earned dollars.
Sure.
And making sure that everything done in the city is done in a thoughtful manner. So whether that's looking for good development opportunities and partnerships, utilizing our TIF districts to stimulate economic growth, just looking to make sure that when we set forth the budget for the council to approve, that we've been very meticulous to be sure that we can just look folks in the eye and say, we've thought things very thoroughly and we have a good rationale for how we're spending your money. To me, that's what's really important, and just making sure our city continues to grow and flourish in a positive manner.
Second item, community pride.
Yeah, I think Menasha is a great place to live, and I think everything we do should encourage people to be proud of their community and just love the city that they live in. And it's Menasha's 150th year as a city,
Right.
and there's a lot of great opportunities to do that this year, and I hope we can keep building off of that.
A couple of items you mentioned before, affordable housing. How can you move that along?
Yeah, so I am a voting member for the Housing Authority, so maintain and expand programs like our Strong Neighborhood to keep the housing stock intact that we currently have. Look for new development opportunities with folks that will provide affordable housing options, and like I had mentioned earlier, there's a lot of interest to have condos for folks that want to downsize their house, which then inherently opens their house for maybe a family starting out. And just thinking of housing as a life cycle, not a one-size-fits-all. I want housing for folks of all income, homeowner and renter. That's really important to me.
Sure. And finally, sustainability on your website.
Yeah, I, in my heart of hearts, care adamantly that we take care of our environment, take care of the water. Your place in the water, we ought to live up to that. So whether that's taking a stern position with opening the locks, making sure the water is not only accessible for folks to enjoy, but I think for downtown revitalization, highlighting the water and that we're so fortunate to have it. And then other than that, taking care of our green spaces and expanding trails like the possible High Cliff Connection project. That would be really awesome for the city of Menasha.
We are back to wrap up with Austin Hammond right after this, so please stay right there. And we are back to wrap up with Austin Hammond, who is running for Menasha Mayor. One of the big projects in Menasha, the Bryn Housing Project downtown. What's happening with that?
Yeah, I think it's well underway. From what I've heard, they're utilizing the abnormal winter weather to get things moving forward, but that is just a phenomenal project that really stimulates a lot of economic growth downtown and also provides more housing opportunity.
Is there talk about a new police station separate from your fire station?
I mean, it's been floated around before.
Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. First and foremost, I think public safety is number one, and looking at that, keeping our constituents in the city of Menasha safe, but also our police officers. So I would be supportive of it if it was economically feasible and it was something that we needed to do. So I'm very open to it.
Menasha's east side, that seems like where your growth area is. What kind of development is going on there?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of new businesses kind of going up that direction. There's new apartment complexes being built. I'm drawing a blank in the name right now, but like right behind the Community First Credit Union over there. Okay. There is some exciting development going over there, and people seem to be really gravitating over there, which is neat to see because there's no area of the city. All areas of the city are awfully important, so I really appreciate seeing folks find their area in the city that they love and want to call home.
Yeah, seems like the crown jewel of Menasha is Jefferson Park, and it's getting a makeover.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's it like now, and what's it ultimately going to be?
Yeah, Jefferson Park, it is a really exciting time down there. I just am really appreciative that we're able to use our ARPA dollars to be able to move it forward. So new playground equipment that's ADA compliant, redoing the road with a new boat launch, pavilion changes, as well as the softball diamonds getting relocated to the further end of the park. So all of those things are going to make Jefferson Park somewhere that folks in the Fox Cities and further go out of their way to come visit. I think it's going to be a really neat park when it's all said and done. And I like it already. I didn't mean it like it's not neat already, but I think folks are going to love it when it's done.
Right. All right, Austin Hammond, you want to be mayor of Menasha? We have about a minute left to have you give your elevator speech to your voters, your constituents, as to why you should be the next person to replace Don Merkes as mayor of Menasha.
Yeah, I want to be mayor of Menasha because I want to be a public servant for the residents of Menasha. I think it's really important. I'm running because I am proud of the experience and my record on the various boards, being a council member for two different governments. I was a board member for the UWO Fox Cities Foundation. I believe that I can bring both a fresh perspective to the city of Menasha and experience, and I'm going to lead for tomorrow in all that I do to make sure we leave it better for the next generation.
Austin Hammond, good to have you here this morning.
Good to be here. Thank you
so much. And if you have a newsmaker in your town who you think we should have on this program, let us know about it. You can do that by sending us an email to tips@wearegreenbay.com, or you can message us on Facebook. And be sure to join us once again Sunday morning at 7:30. Until then, have a great day.